Hi guys, this is Zero here, and with me is...
the one and only fat jerk, Peothra, also known as Peter. How's it going?
And we're doing a commentary on our review of Evangelion that came out Christmas Eve, which was quite...
a month ago already.
Yeah, and it was quite a chore to get this out before Christmas, because you were really adamant, I want this out before Christmas. I was like, okay, I'll try my best.
I couldn't resist having that up by Christmas. I mean, you know,
yeah.
Come on, face it, we really should have had it up for the 21st.
Yeah.
You know, as that was the day the Mayans had predicted that the world was going to come to an end.
Yeah, I kind of wished I had, but I wanted to add this whole this whole skit thing in here.
You mean that silliness that we did at the end there?
Yeah. You see the GAINAX stuff just shows up. Most people were like, did you just... What was the joke there? I'm like, it's supposed to be that it's just supposed to show up. And the funny thing is, that's not even half my GAINAX collection.
Oh, God.
And, basically, I guess we should talk about how this came about. Like, I think I mentioned that I wanted to do a review with you, like a crossover. And you said, yeah, that's a good idea. And we pondered for a long time what we should do. And then we also said we should film it at Anime Next, because then the two of us will be together and we could do it like that. But because how busy it gets in Anime Next, it's kind of impossible.
Just a little. I mean, I know I did 4 panels myself last year, and I know you had a couple extra yourself. So, what did you do, about 4 or 5 last year?
I think so. But, by the way, that was Titlecard by Danniku.
He didn't make me fat enough. I'm very disappointed. I should have taken up half the screen.
Hey, I've compared you and me. I'm bigger than you, so shut up.
Yeah, but I'm the fat jerk, you know. I'm, just by nature, I'm fatter than everybody out there.
The fattest and jerkiest of them all.
That is right.
But anyway, back to getting to the review. I think the biggest thing was we couldn't decide what to do at first. Like, I asked you what you really wanted to do, and I think we originally decided on Star Blazers. But I hadn't seen it, so I got the whole series and I started watching it. And then I was like, I don't know if we should do this. There's a lot of episodes. And then you started doing your whole End of the World anime reviews in 2012. And I think it was in summer. You were like, hey, let's do, what about Evangelion? And I'm like, well, I know a lot about that, so sure.
Which is why I mentioned it. I know that you're a big GAINAX fan. And I know that you've always had a definite affection for that particular anime. So
it's sort of a weird anime because me and that anime share a very love-hate relationship because of the way it's gone. I mean, it's gotten much better with the newer movies that retells the story. It's so much better now, but back when it was just the series, it was kind of like I sort of like this, but it's
the anime that everybody loves to hate. The ending, you know, they love the anime and hate the ending.
Yeah.
One scene with Shinji getting congratulations over and over again just makes me want to take a baseball bat to everyone's heads. And to have the father actually go, congratulations, you're like, no, that's not what the father would say. He would say, jump off a bridge.
Pretty much.
No, it just doesn't work.
But yeah, here, anytime, basically how this review worked is Peothra already had the review done, basically, in his style, and whenever he wanted me to interject, he'd say, he'd ask me to interject, and instead of me just being on camera, I thought I'd show footage from the show, because, I mean, I had the show on DVD, might as well use it, right? And also, like, I did interject a couple times, like, when you were talking about the characters, because, I didn't just want to do it in one lump sum, I guess you could say. So, like, every time you talked about a character when you were done, I cut in and put my thoughts on that character.
That's exactly what I wanted from you to do, you know, because that just makes more sense.
Yeah. And I thought about cutting out some of your, bloopers, but I thought, no, I'll leave him in.
Bloopers? No, never.
And this show, like, the thing is, the show is supposed to be about Shinji, but it's hard to, like, it's hard to root for him a lot of the time. Like, when he triumphs, it's great, but it's like, he's so
awkward.
Well, not just awkward, it's just like his attitude towards everything, and I understand why he has that, but it's just it's so grating, like when you have to listen to his BS. But
yeah.
This is why I like Asuka, because she speaks her mind no matter what. She doesn't give a shit if anybody gets upset. And a lot of the time, and there's like, I can't remember what episode, there's this episode where they're like stuck in a tunnel or something, and she's pretty much like yelling at the other two to get them to do something, because they're both kind of like, I don't know what to do.
Well, my question is though, when Shinji winds up alone with Rei in that little bedroom scene where he kind of falls on her, is that an incestuous by any chance?
I don't know. Like, it's hard to, because she's a
clone of his mother. There's no way. Come on, tell me I'm not right. She is a clone of his mother.
Yeah, but like, it's just they never outright say she is. Like, it's hard because she looks a lot like Shinji's mother, of course, but it looks like they did some like modification in there to give her different hair or whatever, or to make her more obedient, whatever. But like, I don't know. It's hard to say because they never outright say we spliced Shinji's mother's DNA into her. They hint at it, but they don't never outright say it. So it's hard to say. I guess you'd be right thinking that, but
it's just the presumption. Notice I don't use the A word. Presumption I make just by the way they set things up. So, I kind of feel sorry for Rei because, I mean, she deserves a better fate than the one that she has.
Yeah.
Asuka, she's just a pain in the ass. She reminds me too much of some of my ex-wives.
Well, the thing is too with her is sometimes she's there to give people a kick in the pants because they need it. Like, there's like so many times where Shinji's just mopey and Asuka's just yelling at him. that it kind of gets him to do something, and then like also Shinji feels the need to prove himself to her too, so that's why I think she's a good character. Like, she does something to like rile up the character's jimmies so they actually do something. But it's just like she can be really annoying sometimes. I'll admit.
Yeah, and it's a tragic thing that she winds up kind of falling. She does, losing her confidence, losing herself.
They've been they actually did a lot with her in the newer movies. Like, they changed up some stuff. Like, they've changed a lot of stuff from the movies and from the series. I think basically, like, the creator was like, I'm gonna do everything I wanted to do, but not because, like I said when we get to the animation, the visuals in the show are great most of the time, but you can see where they cut corners. Like, you can tell where they cut corners. And this is when they were having financial troubles. So basically,
you mean when they use the same picture over and over again as the animation saving technique, as I like to refer to it?
Yeah, the thing is, like, they were going through financial troubles while making this, and they had this huge fiasco. I'm not going to get too much into it, but they had this huge fiasco, which is the reason why the last two episodes suffered so much. Because they ended up losing almost all their money, and they had almost nothing left, and they're like, we can't. They're like, we can't animate 2 more episodes. But they had to because that's the quota they had to fill. So that's why the last 2 episodes suffer so much. And then the 2 movies after it, the Death and Rebirth and End of Evangelion, don't fix anything because the writer went through writing hell. The entire series went through production hell, and that's why the ending is the ending of the show and the movies are so bad.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, having basically Shinji and Asuka be the new Adam and Eve, at least that's the impression you get. That's the one thing they never clarified. Does the rest of the world get destroyed, and it is Shinji and Asuka, or is it just that one area? Because, I mean, let's face it, none of the rest of the world is really involved in this little scenario at the moment.
Actually, they kind of are. They have America's involved with their Angel, or Ava's, and...
Right, but that whole thing gets shut down because, well, they used the nuclear, drive instead of, whatever alien technology they had managed to get a hold of.
Yeah, it's... Like, it's never explained. We're meant to think that the entire world turned into Orange Tang except for Asuka and Shinji, because that's what Shinji willed. So,
the animation is very right. Has that distinctive GAINAX
but I tried my best to show some of the best shots from the show, mostly early episode shots, like, but there's like there's just one shot I remember when I was looking through the DVD footage where it's like a zoom in on Shinji, and you can tell they just took a still and they just moved it. They didn't actually like animate a camera move. But like it's stuff like that. It's just GAINAX has improved so much since then. But even so, they only own the publishing rights now to Evangelion because the creator of the series basically has his own studio working on it, so he can call all the shots, which in my opinion is a good thing because then he can put whatever he wants in there and not be restricted by what the company says, what GAINAX says. So.
Right, and that's usually the better way to have things in the first place, to have full control over your creation. Let's face it, when you don't have full control, you know what happens.
Yeah, but the rebuild movies, like, they're so much better. They're, like, anytime I get the urge to rewatch Evangelion, I just pop in the movies, because the new movies are so much better. Not only do they look better, but they've done so much with it, like, they've added characters that actually have meaning, like, I always thought it was stupid that what's-his-name becomes, like, the 4th child, just randomly, not Kaji,
I know who you're talking about.
The kid, yeah, and in the new movie, they actually do have an actual 4th child, like a new character, not, like, just some character there. Like, it was kind of like, oh, any of the students are expendable and could become Avas, then I'm like, well, then it's not special anymore. I thought you had to be special to be an Ava pilot. So they kind of ruined that in the series. But in the movies, they pretty much fixed that. So that's just one example of stuff they changed. So the story's going in a different direction too. I'm hoping for the better.
Well, I haven't watched the movie personally. I mean, I watched the very first one that they did with the famous hospice scene in Shinji. Won't go much into that. That's the one where they end it with just Tang in the ocean at the end. It really just turned me off because I'm like, okay, we did the exact same thing, but instead of having it be inside his head, we show everything else that was going on around Shinji while this was going on. The murdering of all the different people of, oh god, why can't I think of the name of the agency? Yeah.
Yeah, the rebuild movies are completely different. Like, and they're a treat to watch because they're not just a visual treat, but it's like an audio movie. Like, here's the trailer from the new one that just came out in Japan. Like, you can just see the differences.
You mean that the animation is like +10 quality?
It's like actual good.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm not saying the old Evangelion's animation isn't good. It's just they spent all their money at the start.
It was a lot more difficult.
That's my thoughts on Evangelion.
So,
it's really the best way.
So I guess like the way I put it is like even with the movies coming out, would you recommend the series, or would you tell people to stay away and just go to the movies?
I tell them they really should watch the series because it is a piece of anime history. They really found, it gives them a clue about, I mean, let's face it, a giant robot in so many ways. It's one of the original giant robots. It has some very interesting ideas. Especially with the idea of, it's the angels. And the one thing that they really avoid, I don't know if they go into the movies, they go into this direction, is that the angels aren't trying to destroy us. They really don't make that clear. It's a war of us versus the angels, when reality is it's Shinji's dad who's really the, piece of shit fucking asshole who causes all the trouble. I'll
just interject. This ending I also made up. I really have to thank Danniku also for drawing that angel. My buddy BlondeGuyGamer for voicing the angel, and my buddy DownPhoenix for quickly doing this for me. I bugged the hell out of him, and I felt so bad. And he's like, "No, it's okay. I'll film this." And this is setting up something up that I'm going to be doing, but I want to do it here. And This probably makes no sense to you or anything. And I made these cards with your face on.
I love that, by the way.
I'm gonna have to give you those at Anime Next.
I actually wish we had real cards like that. Matter of fact, I almost start like interjecting them into my reviews. If you can find the card, something like that. Find the Peothra gaming card, type thing,
You have one made, and this was anybody who doesn't understand what's going on is I'm making a reference to Kamen Rider Decade, where he can turn people into their ultimate forms. So this is gonna make sense later on. I just wanted to introduce it, and I thought the best place was with you.
Well, by the way, that's not my ultimate form, but if I was to show you that, well, let's put it this way, most humans would go blind in a second and lose their mental capacity, so...
I love how this turned out, even though it's so cheesy. I love how this all turned out, though.
Well, I have some friends who said that the production value was actually very good for something that is, done on this level. They were pretty impressed with the whole thing. They loved it. That we put this much thought into something so, well, cheesy.
What the hell was that all about?
I don't know.
I love it.
I just don't know.
Yeah, but, anyways, this, I'll just quickly give my thoughts on Evangelion. I agree with you that it should be watched, but only if you haven't seen the series before, and then watch the movies. Because, the new movies, not Rebuild and not Death and Rebirth, but the new Rebuild movies, because they do such a better job of telling the story. And it's like the series exists for a reason. It's an important part of anime history, like you said, but it's just the new movies. It's just hard to watch again these days when I have something that's so much better now.
Well, it's just the ending is really just painful. It's okay, up to about episode 18, and then you're like, you start looking for a revolver and some bullets to put to your temple and pull the trigger. It gets really, really painful. Really.
I love these outtakes I left in.
Steve.
But that actually wasn't an outtake. I want you to leave those in.
Oh.
Well, I did that on purpose, my friend.
And here's some promotion for my channel. But anyways, guys, that's it for the review. Thanks for listening to our commentary. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
I definitely want to. I don't know if there's an anime out there you'd like to do another review on with me. especially since I'd like to continue moving forward with that whole Kamen Rider scenario that we did there. It could be interesting to see what we come up with next.
Actually, it was like, maybe we should do Nyatako-san, because I can talk about all the Kamen Rider references. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace! Where's my $2? You promised me $2, Zero.
Check your pocket.
Oh. Hey, get that out of there. It doesn't belong. Pervert.